I don't think anybody around that time of the 70s, with all these new shows, knew exactly how big they were going to be. I think I'm most proud I'm one of the few that hadn't been arrested yet, so...
But do you think children's television could do with a bit more kind of the Crackerjack style chaos?
They love nothing more than seeing somebody have a cream pie shoved in their face or they fall on their bottom on the stage. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. People love a laugh. And then they did another episode all about making up an entire government.
What department would you be in charge of?
I'd put me in the Ministry for Fun, certainly. Yeah, we couldn't fox it up any worse than the current lot, could we, eh?
And you're also very intelligent, right? You've been on lots of quiz shows.
They thought I was daft as a brush, but I was cunning as a fox. To be honest with you, Simon, I just love performing. I love being in front of a live audience, and I can't imagine not doing shows for the public. As long as they want me, they can have me. What a lovely question. I thought you were going to ask me about how's the universe going to end.
How will the universe end?
I don't know, ask Dr. Brian Cox, he knows. Fox and Cox, that's what you want to do. That's the next podcast. Fox on Cox.
I might get the viewers in. Welcome to the Ask Bigger podcast. Today's guest is a television icon. Before we start though, today's episode is brought to you by, guess what? Angel Delight. And that is a little bit of a hint as to who it could be. Now, he survived 6 decades in entertainment, worked with some of the biggest names in television, appeared in everything from family entertainment, adult shows, and somehow remains one of the busiest performers in the whole country. Most entertainers are lucky to last 6 years. This guy has lasted over 60. Basil Brush, welcome to the Ask Bigger podcast.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful invitation. What a wonderful introduction, might I say. I sort of resemble that remark.
Which one? About being so old?
Hey, watch what you have to say there. I can go down there and nibble your kneecaps any time and no one will notice.
So it's very hot today, so I've brought a bit of Worthing Beach to us.
Yes, can I just say, on the hottest day of the year, because it's quite bizarre really, isn't it, what you get up to in one's career, you've invited me on the hottest day of the year in full fur into a recording studio, lined and hot. That's all right, we can cope, but there's the beach. About a mile down the road.
Do you have any tips to keep cool?
Well, certainly don't wear fur that I've got on today, and don't wear clothes. I was going to actually take my shirt off here, but you don't want to see what's underneath, I can tell you that.
So do you ever stop and think how bizarre your career has been?
Not on days like this when it's 40 degrees outside and I'm in a studio with no air. No, I don't really. I actually count myself as being very lucky that I'm still working. Most of my friends aren't still working. You think of the likes of, Emu and all of that, and Roland Rat. My good friend Sooty, he's still going. And so I'm rather proud that a whole new generation is growing up with the brush. Sometimes when I'm performing in holiday camps and things like that, the kids don't know my name, but boy, by the end of it, they know exactly who Basil Brush is and what boom, boom means. So I'm very proud to still be here and still going.
The problem with Sooty is very quiet, isn't he? So
yeah, he doesn't have a lot to say for himself.
No.
Especially when we have a conversation down the phone. I say, Sooty, how you doing? There you go. It's a bit one-sided.
So, I mean, you've appeared in books, you've got annuals, you've got joke books, you've had a comic strip, you've had a cartoon made about yourself, pantomimes, theatre shows. Wow.
Yeah. All that in the last 65 years. I have been going since the early 1960s. I think I'm most proud I'm one of the few that hadn't been arrested yet. So, yes, here I am, having worked in almost every single genre and still appearing in #1 pantomimes. And who knows what is in store over the next 65 years, if I'm still here. Who knows? I'm very proud that I can actually say that for the whole new generations that are coming through, they can all say, I grew up with Basil Brush, and that's an awful lot of people. Very proud of that.
One thing that's always fascinated me is that you sound really posh.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go to boarding school?
No, I didn't go to boarding school, and I probably wouldn't go to boarding school now either because of the VAT increases. It's far too expensive for me. But I think what it is, really funny, you know, people do say to me, your voice sounds really funny. And that's the kids, because they don't hear Posh quite so much. So I do feel my voice is quite unique. It is, in fact, a 1950s RP type pronunciation based on Terry Thomas. You won't know who Terry Thomas was, but he was a wonderfully famous actor with two front teeth very similar to mine here, just there. And he used to always say, hello, how are you? He was a very smooth, debonair actor around the time that I was first coming on the scene. And I was sort of slightly based my sort of persona upon him.
And have you tried speaking another way? Can you do a Cockney accent?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I wanted to get onto EastEnders, and I've got to say I would love to be on EastEnders, I would like to say, get out more pup. I mean, that would really work well, wouldn't it? I could certainly do that. I can do a wee little bit of Scottish. Hey, ho, hey, okay, the no, taking up the gobbles. You know, that's about as good as my accents are without offending anybody.
Have you ever been accused of being too posh?
No, never been accused of being too posh. I don't think you can be too posh because I'm sort of loosely based on an urban fox, which is slightly not posh, and I have in fact turned myself into an urbane fox. So I don't think I can ever be too posh. Basically, I'm just being myself, and the kids today who haven't heard my accent quite so much think it's really funny, so I'm going to stick with it. It's worked for 65 years, and I'm going to stick with it. Geezer.
I was going to ask you this later on, but you mentioned about urban foxes.
Yes.
I mean, what are your thoughts about these London foxes who are getting a bit more kind of, not tame, but more braver, really?
Well, it's good because you've got to eat somewhere, haven't you? And the trouble is you lot chuck away so much really good food into the bins. I'm surprised there aren't more foxes there having a little rummage through there to go and eat what you've just taken away from Deliveroo. I mean, it's an easy eat, isn't it? And it doesn't cost anything. Free. You go and pay for it, get it on Deliveroo and we'll eat it. And it's also a form of recycling, what you chuck away. So, you've set it all up there. You've taken away all of their little spaces around London, especially. You've built on everything. So they've got to live somewhere, haven't they? Maybe give them a room. Rent a room scheme. Have a fox in your house.
So the Basil Brush Show
yes.
Became absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And there was Mr. Derek, Mr. Roy, Mr. Howard.
Mr. Billy.
Mr. Billy, yeah. Who got the most laughs out of them?
Out of them? Well, they weren't meant to get the laughs, actually, because what you've got to remember, you always have a sidekick. So it's like Morecambe and Wise, Cannon and Ball. You always have to have someone setting up the jokes. And that was their job, to be sort of the straight man, so to speak, of the duo. So it would be their job to be setting things up and for me to get the big laughs. I mean, it's the Basil Brush Show, not the Mr. Derek Folds or Mr. Billy Show. It was the Basil Brush Show. So, yes, I made sure I got the best laughs, because I was the best friends with the writers. So that's how that worked. But you always had to have, you know, the two of you, in a way. Eric and Ern have sort of come back. There's a tribute show going around about Eric and Ern, Morecambe and Wise, and you see why it works so well, that you've always got to have the fall guy, which is what comedy's all about. So, yes, I was basically the fall guy. I got the laughs, and they set them up. You set them up, I'll knock them down.
And who were you able to break character the most out of them?
It's one of my sort of hobbies, is I always like to make the person that I'm working with corpse, or they can't get through the scene. So I always make sure that, all of them would be corpsing at one time or another, and I think they were all just about terrible at themselves, and breaking character and making them laugh. I'll do something under the table. Come on, Mr. Derek, come on, Mr. Derek, you can do it. Come on, Mr. Billy, come on, Mr. Billy. So, so I try and make them all laugh as much as I could, and wind them up as well.
And if you could bring one of them back for a final show, who would it be?
Oh, my word, that's the million-dollar question. Who do you want me to offend? Well, recently, I've got to tell you that I had a lunch with Mr. Roy. Yeah, Mr. Roy North is he's still with us. And I went round to his house, met his wife, and we had a lovely dinner together. So he's the only one that could come back. But I've got to say, I think the most fondness I have of all my misters is Mr. Derek Folds. He went on, obviously, to wonderful things, like Yes, Prime Minister, which was truly marvellous, and Heartbeat. And he did come to my pantomime at the Theatre Royal Windsor just before he left us and passed away. And he came to come and say hello, and really it was him saying goodbye. And it was just before that blasted lockdown thing that affected all you human beings. I was perfectly safe. I was triple jabbed in mange, myxomatosis, Saturday night fever. I can assure you, I was all right.
Were you ever jealous of if, like Mr. Derek went on to Heartbeat and stuff like that? Did you ever get jealous that they got bigger than you?
Oh, no. I always feel as though I was their mentor and go on to great things. I say, well, it all started with the Basil Brush Show, which it did, invariably. And I was thrilled for them because we always kept in touch. We'd always see each other. So, yes, I'm not a jealous fox at all. I'm actually thrilled that people are able to make a living in this very difficult profession called show and go on to great things. So very proud that often they started with the Basil Brush Show. So no, never jealous at all. I'm very happy being the only talking fox on the telly. There aren't many of us around,
And then there was Crackerjack.
Oh, Crackerjack! You see, if you say the word Crackerjack, you have to repeat it with Crackerjack, because that's what the live audience always did. Friday night, it's Friday, it's Crackerjack. Oh, it's Friday, it's 5 o'clock, it's Crackerjack. That's what you got to say.
Did you realise how big that was going to be at the time?
Do you know, I don't think anybody around that time of the 70s, with all these new shows, knew exactly how big they were going to be. We just did what we did well, which was entertain. And of course, you've only got the one television programme that it's all going out on, one television station. So there wasn't the competition. So of course, the entire country, it felt, were watching these iconic television shows being made and being created. And no, we never thought that they would still be talked about all these years later. And actually, I was able to come back and help relaunch Crackerjack on CBBC when it returned, which was quite magnificent. And again, I've kept in touch with some of those folks. There was Jan Hunt. I do music hall with her at the moment, and I went to the theatre only the other night to see Barnum at Richmond Theatre. And I was there with Jan Hunt. She is still going, very proud of what we were able to achieve in those days. And of course, they just went on to be absolutely huge, and people still talk about those lovely cabbages at the end when you got a cabbage that you had to hold at the end. So, no, we didn't know at the time, but we do now. And if I knew how big it was going to be, I'd have put my fees up.
I mean, you said you're a fan of musicals there. Do you have a favourite musical?
A favourite musical?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to be in the Phantom of the Opera. I'd love to be in that. I think I'd actually make a good Phantom. And music of the night. I sing like a bird, Perfect. A crow.
But do you think children's television could do with a bit more kind of the Crackerjack style chaos?
I think kids just love Crackerjack style chaos and Basil Brush style chaos. I see them all at the holiday camps when I do my live shows. And I've got to say, if you let a kid be a kid, they are kids. But they grow up so quickly nowadays, with the iPads and everything's done for them. I think there's a great love of chaos and pandemonium. They love nothing more than seeing somebody have a cream pie shoved in their face or they fall on their bottom on the stage. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just present it to them and you suddenly realise that's why pantomime is still going, because people love a laugh and a bit of silliness. But sometimes life has got a little bit serious for everybody. The kids have to take exams at school. They're driven. They've got to go to university. But sometimes, there's got to be a little bit of space for silliness. And I hope that we provide that, whether it be on the television. I'd love to see more of it. But of course, now on the television, it's all animation and things that have to be put into different languages and such. So I'm not sure anybody's got the money. The BBC certainly don't have the money to make a live show like that for kids, which I think is a pity, because I think kids love that silliness and they love you to fall on your bottom. Boom. Like that.
And you also appeared in the Goodies, right?
Oh, blimey, you have done your research, haven't you? I mean, when you said to me that you were going to talk about this, I had a little look on YouTube to find out what we did with the Goodies. Can you remember? You probably didn't. Did you grow up with the Goodies?
No.
No, it was Goodies, goody, goody, yum, yum. Well, that was a wonderful episode. It was a fox hunting episode, would you believe, that they weren't chasing real foxes, they were chasing me. So I was going to have words with my agent about that. And then they did another episode all about having a puppet government. They didn't have just myself. They had Emu and Sooty and others making up an entire government. Although looking what's been taking place in our current government, I think we'd be a jolly good replacement for them. Bring the Muppets in as well. I think we'd do well running the entire country, to be honest with you.
What department would you be in charge of?
I'd put me in Department of Fun. I would be the Ministry for Fun, certainly. I think I'd get somebody like, I don't know, Sooty. He would be the American ambassador because he wouldn't offend anybody over there, would he? Because he wouldn't say anything. So I think that would be perfectly all right. And maybe Sweep as Prime Minister. Yeah, we couldn't fox it up any worse than the current lot, could we, eh?
Then there was Let's Read with Basil Brush, which you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Which was another huge part of your career, right?
Yep. Yeah, that was reading stories to kids. I mean, I think that came about because everybody seemed to love it when the mister of the time read me a story and I would interrupt and make them all laugh. It was always a highlight of every episode, I think. And then we decided to make a version that was possibly a little bit more educational, get kids reading again. And you never know, we might have to bring it back to get kids reading again. But I love stories. I love reading. I love all of that. And I love a little bit of chaos when when I can interrupt them. We still do that in our live shows as well. We read the audience a story, whether it be an adult audience, we've got a slightly more grown-up story, or when it's the family fun shows, again, we have some stories that we read, but they are chaotic. And I can assure you that cream pies are flying and everybody gets very wet. So we won't do it here. There's too many electrics.
Do you think we're kind of missing that educational bit in children's TV at the minute?
I think I went to the Children's Media Conference last year, and I think everything's always nowadays seems to have some sort of a message, and I think they leave the education bit now up to the schools because they've got so many, things they've got to learn in a curriculum like that. But I think there can always be a message. I think that's very important to help guide kids today with a moral structure. But I think it's got to have a lot of fun, a lot of engagement, because kids are only kids once. And I think it's really important that what they are watching is not just a slightly educational, but it's a lot of fun as well, because that's what we've got to be, fun.
The great thing about your career is that you've obviously gone to different generations.
Yes.
So we had the older generation with all them shows I just mentioned, but then there was a relaunch on CBBC. Did that feel like a bit of a gamble to you to try and revive your career on CBBC?
Well, it wasn't a gamble for me because I didn't put the money up for it. So I was just there having a laugh. But it was really wonderful to be asked back. The BBC got in touch with me. I was lying on a beach in Portobarnús and they said, would you come back and help our flagging ratings? And it was really different because obviously the Basil Brush Show I did in the 60s and 70s was myself with a Mr. Derek or a Mr. Roy of the time. But this was more a sitcom-based comedy with a Mr. Stephen, but also we had Miss Molly, Master Dave, and some relatives as well, Bingo Brush. And it was great to bring it back with a lot of energy. I spent a lot of my time running about. There were outdoors, indoors. We did spoofs and parodies on actual films, James Bond, time travel. So it was very adventurous, and I think it was very much ahead of its time. And for anybody who grew up with that, they're all on YouTube now, all 78 episodes. And so introduce the kids of today to that we were doing on CBBC. And actually, I was very proud of the work that we did there because it was very different, and it had to be different to how we did it originally in the 60s and the 70s. And of course, television had changed. Editing's getting so much faster. Kids' attention spans were getting shorter. So, we made it quite a fast episode. It was quite loud, lots of action, lots of movement, and colour and light. If in doubt, colour and light, and fabulous scripts. And they stand up today as strong as they did, 25 years ago when we first made them. And they're all on YouTube, and a whole new audience of kids are in fact now watching them. I'm very proud that I get people coming to my pantomimes saying, my kids are watching you and they love you. And I say, what are they watching you on? And they say, YouTube. It's brilliant. So very proud of that show is still going, as well as the stuff we created in the 60s and 70s. Thank you to YouTube. What a fabulous medium.
What was it like working with Mr. Stephen compared to your earlier sidekicks? I mean, did you get to audition him or...? It was just...
I do remember the audition process. The auditions that we did were over several weeks. There was physical comedy that we had to do with them. There was a lot of improv, a lot of acting. It was more like an acting role rather than more like an entertainment, sort of like somebody like yourself asking questions. There were always stories. There was pathos, there was sadness, there was fun, there was action. So it was requiring somebody more being an actor than an entertainer, perhaps singing a song. We did some musical interludes in it, but mainly we were actors going off on an adventure that had been set up probably by Master Dave. So take a good look at those, and I think it needed a different type of Mr. in those occasions, and it was great fun. And Mr. Stevens is a great bloke. We still see each other today. We play golf together, funnily enough. And he does pantomime in Basingstoke every year, and I've spent 12 years at Windsor and now settled myself, hopefully, at Richmond for a number of years. And we're still the best of friends, as is Mr. Anil, the Asian chap who used to run the cafe. Very funny. Always just had one line. But with that one line, he would steal the scene because he was one of the funniest actors I know, and a brilliant chap. And again, another great friend. We've all kept in touch. And Laura, who played the American girl in there, she headed off, and she is now a great singer all over the world singing country music. So everybody, again, has done very well after being in the Basil Brush Show. Very proud.
Talk about golf there. What's your handicap?
Only because I'm only about 18 inches tall, so I can't hit the ball very far. And when I'm driving, I get told off for driving me up Rolls Canardly down the fairways. So, yeah. And when they say, put it in the hole, I just put it in the hole. And put me down for a 4.
And what did it feel like when you became relevant all over again? It's
funny, because I was away for about, 15 years off the air. And I was really thrilled that basically people hadn't forgotten me, but the new generation at that time didn't have social media quite so much as they do nowadays, or YouTube quite so much to keep you relevant. So I was really thrilled that we came back, we got nominated for a BAFTA, and that a whole new generation of kids were growing up with the brush. They've now gone through university, and I see them all now when I'm playing Glastonbury saying, I grew up with you, Basil, and I can't believe it, that there they are, mid-20s. So very proud and thrilled that it's led on to all sorts of things that I'm doing now, basically from that comeback in the 2000s. And I'm still here. Just like that song from Follies, good times and bum times, I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still here. They'll be saying that in the 2050s, I hope.
You mentioned Glastonbury there.
Yeah.
You've done loads of Glastonburys, right?
I think 8 Glastonburys.
Wow.
So I must be doing something right. Yes, 8 Glastonburys. Started off in the kids' field at Glastonbury. That was a great first year that we went there. It was a wet Glastonbury, and it's not very easy when you're only 18 inches tall with little feet that they've got walking around, and it's about 3 foot of water. You know, I needed a scuba diving gear. So I didn't realise in that first year how brilliant Glastonbury was as a festival. So we started in the kids' field, and I didn't really leave the kids' field because it was so muddy. But then subsequent Glastonburys have all been dry. And again, thanks to Mr. Tony Cordy, who runs the kids' field, he's invited us back every year. We take the show back slightly different. And the kids, again, who don't know who I am, they do by the end of Glastonbury, and we've got a new batch of friends. And then in the last 2 years, we were invited to take part with our adult show that we did the Edinburgh Fringe with, and play the comedy tent at midnight. So it's quite. I don't go on to get the shows mixed up, I've got to say, because there we are at 11 o'clock and doing a kids' field show, and then at midnight we're doing a totally different adult show to 2,500 people who didn't want to see Coldplay. And then, of course, that leads to things lead to things. This is what's amazing. You do one thing, and then it leads to another, because last year at Glastonbury, they had Taskmaster live. Now, I would never have thought that I would ever be asked to do Taskmaster live. It's not always easy for me to get down and leg it out into the audience, you see. As you can see, my range of movement is from here to about here. and that's about as far as I can go. So they gave me another comedian to work with, and I was on there with James Ancaster and some other folks, and it was great. And I came third. And one of the tasks that they asked me to do was sing unrehearsed with the band. They had a live band behind us, and I had to sing Purple Rain unrehearsed. Little did I know that would lead to 1.5 million views on TikTok, or TikTok, overnight. And suddenly I'm the new prince. And it's amazing and then I put that into the show. So things lead to other things, and they can snowball and that. But the main thing is I have a great time, and I hope that the audience gets swept up with me having a good time, and have a bit of silliness as well. And then they go on to Block 9, and that's another story. I got to say, I went to Block 9 for one night. I hadn't had my tail tugged so many times in one night. I went back all 4 nights. Boom! I had to get one out there. So yes, Glastonbury, we're very fortunate that they seem to like the brush, and I do a lot of PR. I do Radio 2 on Friday mornings. It used to be with Zoe Ball. So again, it leads to lots of fun, and everybody seems to want the brush and have a bit of fun and reminisce, because that's become the buzzword. Everybody wants to look back at the moment, I think.
And if you were launching your career today, would you go on TV, or would you target TikTok?
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, if I was launching, I think the beauty of having something like social media and TikTok and YouTube is you're not really in the hands of the TV executives. Because if you've got an executive that said, no, don't want it, it's basically nothing you can do. But you do have an outlet like this to come and have a little natter. It's relatively inexpensive to make your own stuff and put it in front of lots of people. So I think if we were recreating the Basil Brush Show of old nowadays, it would perhaps be a little bit easier. We would perhaps launch it on a YouTube channel, see if we can get some followers. I mean, people are following me all the time. Basically, they want my autograph now. It's a completely different thing. But it is really marvellous that there is the opportunity for young people who perhaps haven't got their foot in the door, gets it slammed in their faces, that they have an opportunity and an outlet on this thing called social, which I think is truly a marvellous invention. So hopefully I'll get to know it better and use it a little bit more.
So I was going to say to you, do you have any advice for young people who are trying to break into entertainment?
Do something else. You'll earn a lot of money as an accountant, Go into politics. Oh, no, that doesn't last long, does it now? It's worse than being a manager of Chelsea Football Club if you're the Prime Minister. You soon get shoved off. I say to them, be true to yourself. Get a catchphrase. Mine was boom, boom. It worked very well for me for 65 years. Be true to yourself. Follow your dreams. There's nothing wrong in following a dream. Sometimes the dreams don't necessarily come true, but maybe the journey you were on to get that dream is a good one. And that's what I basically have always said for my entire life. I'm on a train. I'm on a journey. I'd love to have another Saturday night television show, I don't know, about 7:30, family audiences, Saturday night on the BBC television. Will I get it? I'd love to get it. However, the journey to get that is a good one. I do Glastonbury, I go on cruise ships, I do pantomimes, I go to holiday camps, I meet lovely people like yourself. It's a pretty splendid journey, actually. So I hope I can get to the destination, but it may change its course halfway there. Who knows?
What do you think's changed most about show business today compared to the 1960s, 70s?
It's very short. It's very transient. Basically, people seem to be household names 1 minute, and, sorry, who are you? The next minute. They seem to disappear. I think fame has become the buzzword. Everybody wants to be famous. They don't care what they're famous for. They just want to be known. They think it opens doors and it will make them rich and wealthy and they'll buy big houses and cars. What often comes with fame, as I've seen, is unhappiness and intrusion, especially nowadays, because everybody's got a mobile phone. You've put everything up on social media. They can see everything that you're doing nowadays. So I think if you can get a good grounding of perhaps you're a talented singer, you are an actor, you're a talented footballer, you play a musician, you're an instrument player, I think be famous for something like that rather than necessarily just searching for fame. Be famous for doing good, being good to people, playing the piano for people, helping people. You can be famous for all sorts of things rather than just be famous, because I think that has its dangers in itself. As we see that with people from the quiz shows, the things like the X Factor, that people are suddenly thrust into a spotlight and not used to what actually comes with it, which is that element of intrusion. And thankfully, I seem to have survived with that intrusion for 65 years. I just paint my brush a nice pink colour and pretend I'm a candy floss walking down the front of Worthing High Street. And I get away with murder, I can tell you that.
What's the biggest misconception about people have about Basil Brush?
They think I'm a puppet. I mean, truly. I am, in fact, a real, live, talking fox. And I don't know where they get this misconception from. I think it might have something to do with the fact that when I was created in the early 60s by a wonderful gentleman called Mr. Ivan Owen, they missed the fact that when he passed away, just like Geppetto in Pinocchio, I became a real, live, talking fox. So, and if anybody believes that, they'll believe anything. But, I'll come over and nibble your kneecaps. You can look down there, look, there's me legs, look, everything's there. Yeah, look at that, I can jump up and down, look, see? I live, Basil Brush lives! I'm alive. You're not sure now, are you? You look at me like that. You can't believe what you're watching, isn't it? Eh? You cannot believe it. Are you a real human being? Just get me come and nibble your kneecaps. Hang on a minute. I'll just go over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there. Yeah. There. You're all there by the looks of things.
Considering you've only got 2 teeth,
it hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's just like one of those false widow spiders. You're going to have a little 2 teeth marks in your leg like that. False widow, false Basil. Gotcha.
I mean, I was very nervous about this chat with you today. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't look nervous. You're not sweating that much. It's just the heat, isn't it?
Is there anyone you've worked with who've made generally nervous?
I make a lot of people nervous. I can understand that. They're not quite sure what I'm going to do and nibble the kneecaps or something like that. No, nobody's made me really nervous to perform alongside, because most of the time they're coming onto my show. I got very nervous last year. I was at the Rewind Festival, and I was on stage in front of 40,000 people doing a bit of hosting with that wonderful lady, Jenny Powell, from the 1980s. And I don't think that's one of the most nervous times I've ever had, because it's the biggest audience I think I've ever stood in front of. Jenny was magnificent. She wasn't nervous at all. She was great. She's done that all before. But I was quite nervous on that occasion, and thankfully she made me less nervous. It did take me about 4 or 5 goes to come out of the toilet, because I kept going, there's 40,000 people out there that I've got to go and entertain. So that was magnificent. And funnily enough, I'm going back this year, so I must have done something right. Either I was very good or very cheap. I'm not quite sure.
Who's the funniest person you've ever met?
Me. It's always me. No, I tell you what, one of the funniest persons I've ever met, actually, was a comedian called Jim Owen. Have you come across him?
No.
Oh. Obviously very famous. No, he's very funny. I saw him at the Edinburgh Fringe. He's a stand-up comedian. He's not like Michael McIntyre, who obviously is a household name, but he is equally as funny, pulls lots of funny faces and great observational humour. I'm a big fan of observational humour. So Michael McIntyre, I could watch all day. I think he's absolutely fantastic. But this chap, Jim Owen, seeing him live, honestly, I couldn't cope. It was hurting my insides. Look him up on YouTube, Jim Owen. He's an absolutely... And another one I played golf with, actually, while I was at the Edinburgh Fringe. It's amazing what golf does, you know. You get to meet all these wonderfully talented people because they all go and get their solace on the golf course after they've done all their performing. Or basically they're touring the country. So it's something for them to do. Rob Beckett, he's another one who's just taken up golf, so he's touring the country. And I think what happens is you go and do a show at night and you've got to have something to do during the day. So they all take up golf. So Jim Owen, he's one of the funniest people that I can safely say I've met. And Michael McIntyre, but I've never met him. He's asked me a few times to go on the Midnight Game Show, but we've not been available. Too busy, you see. I'm a busy fox. But you never know, one day might get me on the wheel.
Do you know that on that show he does Where You Centaur Hall?
Yes.
Who would be The most entertaining person, or who'd be the most famous person in Basil Brush's phone book?
The most famous person? Oh, I tell you what, that is a really difficult question. Mel Giedroyc, I would say I've got her telephone number, and she's pretty famous. Got a number of TV presenters. Got Ryland, he's in my phone book. Zoe Ball is in my phone book. I mean, some people you have to go through their agents, you know. That's why it's difficult, it's their agents. So you don't necessarily have their own personal phone numbers. But I think there'd be enough people in there. Tom Holland, I've got Tom Holland, Spider-Man, another one I play golf with. So, I got Tom Holland's telephone number. So that's probably the most famous person I think I've got in there. Or global person I've got in there. Or his dad, Dominic.
You'd be good in Spider-Man.
Oh, can you imagine? Foxy Man. Oh, I can fly through the air. That famous thing that foxes do. Pounce. Gotcha. Yeah, Foxy Man.
Who's the biggest diva you've ever met?
Oh, diva. Oh, now this is interesting because when people mention the word diva, I do know this. Diva, as a definition, has changed over the years. When it was first sort of muted, diva actually meant goddess. And it was often used in the Italian language to describe sopranos, singers, who were on stage, and it actually meant supremely talented and larger than life. So that would be a diva. And then, of course, in the early 1900s, it went into the cinema and became a less sort of positive description of somebody. And, of course, nowadays, you would be describing somebody as a diva, who's somebody who's probably temperamental and difficult. So I hope you don't mind if I go back to the very original definition of what a diva is and say that the greatest diva that I've ever worked with in the original sense of a goddess and supremely talented is Kylie Minogue. Because I met her at Glastonbury and I got into her hot pants. She wasn't in them at the time, and they fitted me perfectly. We're both size 2.5. And she's what I would call an absolute diva in the old-fashioned term. Not difficult. She is absolutely fantastic. And I wouldn't describe anybody today as a diva and being temperamental because most people that come on my shows, we just have a laugh. I don't want people to behave like that. So I don't know any divas, apart from Kylie.
You've probably told thousands and thousands of jokes.
Have I?
You've probably.
Are they funny? Some of them in the right places, I think. Some of them just in the right place.
Do you have a favourite?
Oh, crikey. Do you know, that's the million-dollar question again. Sometimes, jokes, they come in and out of fashion and things like that. And sometimes I like play on words and poems more than necessarily a joke. I think I bought something online, and before I knew it, I'd subscribed to a thing called Wicked Uncle. And every week they send jokes, and they sent me one last week, and I decided I really love this joke, and it goes like this. I say, Mr. Simon, did you hear about the photographer who got hit by a huge slab of cheddar landing on his head? The funny thing was, people were trying to warn him at the time when they were taking their pictures. Think about it. Cheese! Bomb, bomb! See, I loved that. It was a slow burn. Yeah, a huge slab of cheddar landed on his head. The people who was photographing at the time, they did try to warn him. It's brilliant, isn't it? But that's a slow burn. And then, of course, you've got other, simple jokes like, I say, what do you call a man with a car on his head? Jack. But I prefer jokes that, I don't know, a little cleverer than that it might be a build-up with a climax on it. Or silly poems, like, I don't know. Mary had a little lamb, she tied it to a pylon. 10,000 volts went up its bum and turned its wool to nylon. So I love jokes. I love people to send me jokes. But it's amazing that in pantomimes, you don't necessarily use I say jokes like that. It's normally a joke that comes at the end of a line. Like I have one which always works for me. This is one of my favourite jokes given to me by a wonderful comedian called Ben Nicholas. And I've got a computer by my side. And I say, I'm just going to turn my computer on. And I turn it on and it plays the tune of Frozen. But then it sticks like an old broken record. And the guy says to me, what's up with that? And I go, it's Frozen. Bomb, bomb! So I love things like that. So rather than it being such an obvious I say joke, I prefer it. That's one of my favourites of all time. And then, of course, if you want to cap it with a second laugh, you play the theme from Frozen 2 and on the iPhone. And you play that, and he says, what's up with that? And I go, it's Frozen 2. Boom, boom! And it's another boom, boom joke. So I love things like that. It's just brilliant. I love it when it's not quite so obvious, and then it takes you a while. Slow burn, as that joke was about the photographer. Very slow.
I've got a joke for you, Basil.
Go on then.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I need a
who?
You need a poo?
I need a... You just said I need a. I need a what?
I need a
who's there?
Who's there?
That didn't quite work, did it?
No, it didn't. That
didn't work.
I've actually got your joke book here.
Have you?
Yeah.
We'll get a better one than that out of there then.
The very naughty joke book.
Oh, is it a naughty joke book? Do you get it off eBay?
I got it off eBay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
At least I got
rude.
£5 for it. Thank God for that. I
It's
put it
not
on
rude.
it and it lasted a week. That was good. I'm glad you got it.
Here's your top secret plan for making people laugh.
All right, top secret plan.
So your top 3 steps are:
I don't remember writing this.
step 1, tell a joke.
Yeah?
Step 2, wait 1.5 seconds, then shout
Boom, boom!
at the top of your lungs.
Yeah.
And then step 3 is laugh at your own joke.
Well, that's right. But at least somebody's laughing. Put that in a pen. At least somebody's laughing. Yeah, that's brilliant. Go on then, read me one of the jokes.
Where do burgers like to dance?
I don't know. Where do burgers like to dance?
At the meatball.
Boom, boom! Yeah, it didn't quite have the effect, did it, there? Did you hear about all the local police? That somebody stole the toilet seats from the local police station? Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, they've got nothing to go on. Yeah, absolutely. Then they had to arrest a man who was stealing helium balloons. Sadly, they had to let him go. It's just about working with you.
Boom, boom.
Just about working. Boom, boom. Yes, one gives it a little boom, boom. A little boom, boom. Or a boom, boom.
Any tips for going boom, boom? If you could teach someone like me to go boom, boom, how's the best way?
Well, you've got to gird your loins to start with, you know. Just like on Blackadder. Oh, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. Gird your loins, breathe deeply. And from the bottom of your boom boom, you let a boom boom go with a gigantic boom boom! Oh, that hurt me larynx, I think that did.
Okay, you can judge me, ready?
Yeah, looks like you're breaking wind, to be honest.
Boom, boom!
Oh, that wasn't bad at
That was
all.
good.
That was a big boom boom.
That was good.
Oh, that was very good.
Boom, boom.
Looked like you were sat on the toilet while you were doing it. Splash, splash.
One thing that you did recently was you appeared in the live stage show of Inside Number 9.
Ah, yes.
How did that come about?
Well, it's funny. As I said earlier on, how things that you do lead to something else. I had been trying to get on to the live version of Inside Number 9 for quite a while. I knew the lady who had choreographed the show, and she thought I'd be a perfect celebrity guest when they do the kidnapping scene. But they didn't seem to bite, didn't want to go for it. However, I did hear that both the boys were having tea or had met up with the chaps from the Taskmaster Live, who had said they'd had me on and said, you need to have Basil on your live show. And it came from that conversation. The next thing I had was a telephone call from Reece Shearsmith saying, would I like to appear as the celebrity and be kidnapped? And I said, well, it's not going to be an easy thing to do on your show, but it actually worked brilliantly. And would you believe they asked me to go back again 2 weeks later? Somebody dropped out at the very last minute and said, Basil, would you come in and be the celebrity guest again? So I got to do it at Woking and at the Oxford Playhouse in front of 3,500 people. And and I'm very proud that my improv skills, 15 minutes being on that stage, improvising, was one of the best 15 minutes I've ever had on stage, and I thank the boys heartily. So to go from Taskmaster Live to then go on Inside Number 9, it doesn't really get much cooler and better than that, I don't think. Thank you, Reece and Steve. Brilliant.
What was it like working with them? Because I heard you made them break character as well.
Well, I think because the whole setup of that sequence, they don't really know what you're going to say back to them. So they set it up. There is a little script. It's a bit like the old Morecambe and Wise shows where they used to give somebody a little script and they'd have to read it, even though they'd never seen it before. So it was something that they weren't expecting. from my good self. And I do remember one line that was said when Steve's standing there with a gun, and he's going, well, we're going to have to kill him. And he's making, and Reece said, why are you going to have to kill him? He goes, because he's seen our faces. And I said, no, I haven't. Slow burn, got to work it out. It was quite funny. And then when I did have to walk around the set, that proved slightly more difficult and problematic as well, as I was bumping into things. But we did manage to make it work. So I had a hood over my head, and I had to be carried around the stage by a little helper who had a hood over his head, so he couldn't see either. So I've got to say, he was bumping into furniture, and then we had to make an exit going up a staircase with a hood on his head. And basically he turned to the boys and he basically said, I don't want anybody to worry about what happened to Roy Hudd on a roof in Australia. I think we can do this, Basil. As we made our exit up the stairs on my Stanner... And then, actually, we turned it into a Stanner stair lift. I can show you the Stanner stair lift going down, actually. I can't actually remember why I'm going down here now. Oh, yes, I can come back up again. Run out of breath. Physical comedy, love it. So yes, to be on with those boys, I've got to tell you, that was a highlight of my recent career, and I won't forget it, and thank you to the boys. It was quite magnificent. Loved it.
What was the audience like, their reaction? Because they don't know who's going to appear, do they, that night? And then you pop up.
Yes, they took off the pillowcase off my head, and I've got to say it was one of the biggest cheers I have heard in recent years. And they give you a report afterwards. It goes, stage manager gets sent around, and I saw a copy of it. It was sent to my choreography friend, and it said one of the biggest reactions for a celebrity guest in the whole tour. So thank you to everybody that came and cheered and helped me off the stage up the Stanner stair lift. It was quite magnificent. What a great time. So I hope they do it again and ask me back.
Are you enjoying these more grown-up appearances?
Yes, I think what's wonderful about the grown-up appearances, nobody wants to come and see me. If you're, I don't know, in your mid-40s or something like that, you don't really want me to be doing the same old jokes that I was doing 30 years ago when you were 11 years old, finding them funny. So I do like to think that my humour has grown up slightly with the audience as well. I can promise you, you won't hear me saying naughty words or anything. I won't shatter your childhoods. It's just that, it's just slightly bit more innuendo as well. And, I'm commenting perhaps on what's going on in politics and dating apps and things like that. So the subjects are slightly more grown up, but I just get them a little bit mixed up. And we read from my new book, 50 Shades of Orange, which has just come out as well. So we do that in the adult show that we do at the Butlins 18th weekend. And so my humour has grown up a little, but I can promise everybody they won't be going, oh, that's shattered my childhood. I can't believe it, what Basil has just said. I leave that to everybody else.
I mean, you mentioned Butlins there. You do Butlins, pantomimes. What is it about the live shows that you like so much?
I think it's the instant response that you get from the audience, that they're enjoying themselves, whether it be that they're cheering you when you first come on the stage, they're whooping for something that's going on behind you, they're laughing, hopefully in the right places. So I absolutely love doing live shows. Pantomime, they'll be booing and hissing the baddie, cheering the goodie, laughing, taking part, singing songs, shouting it's behind you. And I like that instant gratification because as an actor, you need to know that the audience are enjoying the show, and they let you know straight away if they're not. Believe me, they just walk out, they're gone. So I love it, that instant gratification. Sometimes on television, because there are so few live audiences now. When I did my original Basil Brush shows, we had a live audience of kids. So you got the laughter, it helped you with the timing. Sometimes television can be a little bit more, how can I describe it? It's just not quite so spontaneous. And it's not so much fun. It's always shooting a schedule that you have to do because obviously it's very expensive to be in the studios. But it's not quite, you don't get that response. Even the crew behind the cameras, they can't laugh, even though hearing you laugh back there. They're not allowed to laugh. It's always quiet. So you think, am I going down like a bowl of cold sick? Or am I funny? Do I leave the gap here? I don't know. I can't hear them laughing. Are they cheering? I don't know. And we have to sort of put it in afterwards and add it. So I miss when I do live television shows when there isn't a live audience. Of course, if I go on something like The Last Leg, they have got a live audience and everybody's, they're all ready to go. It's all very exciting. And I think having the audience there makes that. So that's why I do absolutely love all year round, whether I'm on a cruise ship, at a holiday camp, I'm in Butlins at the 80s weekends, the family shows, pantomimes. I love that instant response and the whites of their eyes, that lets you know when they're laughing that they are enjoying it, which is brilliant.
I mean, I love a good panto too. Earlier this year I took part in St Helens pantomime.
Did you?
And
what did you play?
The cow.
Which end?
The front end.
Oh, that's the attractive end then, isn't it? That's the end everybody wants, really. You don't want to be the sort of the arse end of the cow, do you?
Do you know what? Normally played by two 16-year-old girls.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't want to put a 16-year-old girl in with me. So it was very difficult to find someone to play the back end. And the people I went around asking, they saw it as an insult. Yeah. Whereas I saw it as like, I'm in a pantomime.
Yeah. Which end do you want to be? Yeah.
and it's very addictive.
It is.
What was the secret to a great panto?
Well, you've got to have a good script, a good director, lots of good music. Pantomimes, of course, they're the same story every year, but of course you've got different personalities taking part in them every year, and hopefully you've got the combination of a couple of celebrities. You don't have to have celebrities, but you get a cast that get on with each other, enjoying themselves, and you're doing the show for the audience. And the audience don't realise they are as much part of the show as the cast. If they're up for it, making lots of noise and shouting and laughing and taking part, it will make a better show because the cast then raise their game to match the game of the audience. So it's a fantastic time of year. I love pantomime. I think I've done probably over 40 pantomimes. Wow. And I'm looking forward to hopefully doing another one this year.
And that audience hasn't changed over the years, has it? They still go in for a good time.
Well, it's a family audience. And I think you'll get, obviously, new kids come and experience theatre for the very first time when they're coming. Sometimes they've never been to the theatre. They may be going with the school or something. And they go, wow, this is magic. This is fantastic. They're real live actors on the stage. And hopefully that gets them engrossed in theatre to come more often. But you can enjoy the show on the same level with your mums and dads and your grannies and granddads and the great-granddads and the great-great-great-granddads and the great-great-great-great-great... I'll get to you in a minute, Simon. Any of the granddads, that you can actually sit there and enjoy the same show all together, which, would you believe, that was the ethos of when the Basil Brush Show was created in the 1960s with myself, Mr. Ivan Owen. And when it was created, the whole idea was that the audience would be children sitting down with their parents to enjoy together. And what that does, that creates memories. So when I was at the Children's Media Conference and they asked that question, why are you still going? And all the shows that we seem to create seem to die a death after a couple of years. I said, because you're making disposable television. What we made was memories. So that the kids, when their parents have perhaps left this mortal coil, they've gone, they go, Basil Brush. I remember sitting there with my dad on a Friday night watching the Basil Brush Show or the Saturday evening telly. So that's what going to the pantomime is also about. You go with the whole 3 generations of a family and they can say, yes, I remember going to that theatre with my granny or my mum, and you're creating memories. That's what we're on the planet for, to have a good time and create memories. That's why I'm thrilled that I'm still going and creating memories, whether it be at Butlins, Glastonbury, I don't know, on the television, pantomimes, you name it, I'll be there creating it.
Tell me a bit about the Basil Unleashed show that you do.
Well, that's our grown-up show that we take around the country with myself and Mr. Martin Capel-Reid. We created that in 2019, and it was taken firstly up to the Edinburgh Fringe. We did the entire month for Underbelly in the Cow Barn. And the amazing thing was we didn't realise there was such a huge audience that wanted nostalgia. And we sold out for the whole 4 weeks, which was quite incredible. Then we had that blasted lockdown thing. And then we came back again at the end of that with Gilded Balloon in their debating hall, sold out again. And what was amazing about the whole slightly more grown-up show was looking out in the audience. There were not just the folks that grew up with me in the 60s and 70s, but also the kids that had grown up with me in the 2000s who are now in their early 20s. So we had this wide age gap in the audience. But the one thing they all had in common was they grew up with the brush and made memories, as we talked about earlier on. And we have that show touring. We do the Butlins 80s weekends with it. We do the Midnight Tent at the Glastonbury Comedy Tent. We do comedy clubs. We do theatres. So it's a show I'm very proud of. It takes a look at today's politics. It takes a look at dating apps. We read from my new book, 50 Shades of Orange. And I can assure you, I don't say any naughty words or any swearing in it at all like that. Mr. Martin might let out a couple of expletives, but I put fingers in my ears, or my paws in my ears. So it's just me getting it slightly wrong. And unlike having to do a family audience where we do the kids' shows and we have jokes that will land for the kids, there aren't any jokes for the kids in there. Believe me, it's a good, raucous night of fun. And we get kids, and when I say kids, we get the grown-up kids on the stage at the end. They're going to get wet. They're going to be acting out all sorts of scenarios, and one of them may become a stripper as well. Who knows? It depends what we're doing. But it's a great, fun night out for everybody. So if you see it advertised, Basil Brush Unleashed, do come along, because you'll have that wonderful nostalgia hit in your brain, but also you just go, this is just great fun and silliness, which is what we all need a little bit more of nowadays. And I'm very proud of it.
And nostalgia is such a big thing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't quite understand it. I think there's a great comfort that people are getting in this current world that we're in with news, 24-hour news, which is always bad news. I think everybody needs a little bit of fun nowadays, and they look back at their childhoods, obviously. When I think what it is when you were a child, you didn't have responsibility. For most folks who were lucky enough to have both parents, you had somebody organising your day, doing your cooking, making your bed. You know, it's a wonderful, wonderful, innocent period of your life. And then, of course, you grow up and you have responsibilities and you have to get a job and pay bills. So I think what they do is they reminisce and go, Basil's still here, reminds me of my wonderful time as a kid, or the fun I used to have watching him on the telly with my dad or my mum, or the person who was looking after me, that sort of thing. And yes, we seem to have hit quite a spot of nostalgia at the moment, and I'm filling that void with my gigantic boom for the nostalgia audience, and long may it continue. I've still got my bills to pay, and to be honest with you, Simon, I just love performing. I love being in front of a live audience, and I can't imagine not doing shows for the public. As long as they want me, they can have me. I'll be here for a few more years, I hope.
I mean, you've got quite emotional today at different questions. When was the last time Basil Brush cried?
Oh, my word. It's normally when people like yourself who are very tall stand on my paws. It's normally that. Or if I look at my bank balance after 10 weeks in a pantomime and go, is that all? Oh, no, I can't live off that. I mean, of course, inflation is really difficult, you know. That's why I look at my bank balance. You know, I tour the country all the time, and it used to only cost like 5 pence to blow up your tyres, and now it's £2.50 you have to put in with a card. I mean, that's inflation for you. Boom! So no, I normally cry, because of looking at my bills or something like that, you know. I mean, I have been known with my singing voice to make grown men cry. Cry, stop it, we can't take it any longer. But that's another story. So I don't normally cry. I'm not too emotional.
Let's talk about your family.
Family? Have I got a family?
You've got nephews and relatives that have appeared over the time, right?
Oh, yeah, but they're all puppets. They're not real, They're not, you know. They were invented by some writers, you know. That's Bingo and Mortimer and Foxy Roxy in my CBBC series. Oh, yeah, they're puppets, you know. They're not real. They're just stuffed in a box at the back of my cabinet. Yeah, so of course I'm the only real one in our family. But of course the kids did see them, because Bingo goes bing, bing, and Cousin Mortimer goes bang, bang. So between us we used to have bing, bing, boom, boom, bang, bang in the show. And they're a great hit because Bingo was another catalyst who created some of the stories causing absolute chaos in the shows. And Cousin Mortimer was completely opposite. He was always a bad guy. He was always a bit of a gangster and wanted to take my place and knock me out of the shows. So it was a great dynamic to have them in there. But of course, as we say, they're puppets. They're not family.
So, you got any advice for anyone trying to balance showbiz and family life?
Oh, balance showbiz and family. Oh, I mean, and I think nowadays, of course, balancing showbiz is one way. It's almost all encompassing. You've got to give 100%, but I think also you have to give 100% to having a family. Not that I would know what it's like to have a family, but when I see the pressures that people are under nowadays to have family and a career, that is terribly difficult, and a whole political thing that I don't think I entirely understand, and just leave it up to the big people. But the good thing is I've got on my phone that WhatsApp thingy, and I can speak to anybody and see them on the screen, no matter where I am. So it certainly makes things a lot easier than many years ago in the 60s when you just had to have 10p putting it into a machine to ring your mother and go, oh no, the bips are going beep, 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 beep. Got to say goodbye, beep, beep, beep. You got loads of money, you just don't want to talk to her, that's all. Beep. So it is easier to keep in touch nowadays, but very hard, I'm sure, from what I read and get on the news, to have a family and a career at the same time. But
who would be the worst person to be trapped in a car for 5 hours with?
Me. I never stopped talking. I could imagine having another me on the other side. Oh, for goodness sake, keep it quiet, would you? To be 5 hours in there, I would, I don't know, probably Alan Carr, because he never stops joking and laughing, and by the end of it you'd be annoyed. But I actually love Alan Carr. So I don't know, I think that would probably be a good fun 5 hours to be trapped in a car with somebody. I think, namely, it would be myself. I wouldn't want to be in a car with myself because I wouldn't stop talking.
And you are known to be a bit of a football fan, Leicester City.
Yeah, I mean, I'm following the World Cup as we speak.
Yep.
Leicester City, I actually went up there and met Mr. Vardy, and I was their mascot for a day. I'm not a huge football fan. I don't watch all of the leagues, but what I do love is a final. And that year, of course, when Leicester City won the league, I was watching it every single week. The interesting thing is, that year when they won, I was touring with Mr. Stephen. And he's a big Tottenham fan. And he said, Basil, it's the start of the season. I'm going to put a couple of bets on. He'd like to put a couple of little bets. And he put his bet on Tottenham. And he says, who do you support? And I said, well, I always follow Leicester City because of the Foxes. Where are they at the moment? And we had a look, and they were in second position, I think. I said, oh, yeah, that always happens with Leicester, you know. They have easy teams to play at the beginning of the season, and then they'll finish up at the bottom. They're the strongest team because they're always supporting everybody who's above them. So I said, I tell you what, don't bother putting that 10 quid on Leicester City winning the league. You buy the coffees at Costa. And he bought the coffees at Costa. Now, we all know what happened since. So we're not speaking to each other anymore. No, there we are. So no, we missed an opportunity there to go about £500,000 up by the sounds of things. But it was a very nice coffee that we had instead.
Do you have a message for the England team at the moment in the World Cup to help motivate them?
Put the ball in the back of the net. Come on, I watched them last night against Ghana. And how many opportunities do you have to do to put the ball in the back of the net? Just move quicker. Faster, and put it in the back of the net. Back of the net. They've done quite well so far, haven't they? They won 4-2 in the first game, and I thought they played jolly well against Ghana, but they just couldn't put it in the net for some idea. I mean, how much bigger of an open goal do you need? Harry Kane to hit it right over the top. Come on, Harry. And I've watched Dear England as well. Maybe they need to get that Harry Kane in there.
All right, yeah, Harry Kane, yeah. I'm Harry. Yeah, it's very good. Put in the back of the net. Dear England, missed.
One big thing about you is your tail, which
a big thing. There's nothing big about me. No, my tail. Where's my tail? Oh yes, that thing joined at the back. Yes.
Your most prized possession.
Prized possession, insured for about £10 million. Believe that. You believe anything.
My mum had a question for you, and it was all about your tail. She wanted to know how you keep it looking so immaculate and so bushy.
Ah, well, I have it groomed every day. I've got my own personal stylist. The thing he says are very personal indeed, I can tell you that. But we just brush it every day, put a little brush through it and, coiffure and all of that. Go to the local hairdressers. And it is difficult to keep the fleas out of it, especially when you go out into the countryside. But it is my my prized possession, and I love to give it a little bit of a waggle. And the little, as I've got a little bit older, the little blue pills do help. Have you tried them? They're really good. Look what they do for my tail, I tell you.
I haven't had to yet, thankfully.
Keep that in the adult show.
You previously said that you don't like puppets. Why is that?
Puppets.
Is it
It's
jealousy?
not that I don't like puppets. It's that people keep thinking I'm a flipping puppet. So I love puppets. They can have a great time. Emu, they're very funny. Sooty, all of that lot. Roland Rat, you just named them. Gordon the Gopher. But it's pretty obvious that they're all puppets and I'm a real live talking fox. So, that's it. I do like them, but just don't get us mixed up. We're different species,
Who's the worst puppet you've met?
Emu. I think he's the worst behaved puppet I've met is Emu. But of course, you saw the human alongside him, manipulating him. That's how I know it's a puppet, because there's a human there manipulating him. That's how you can tell when one's a puppet. Look.
Nothing there.
Nothing.
Just your feet.
Yeah, there's nothing there. See? Hey, see what I mean? Just me. Whoops. Oh. Put me back up. All right, you're really useful. There we go.
And you're also very intelligent, right? You've been on lots of quiz shows, not just been on them, but you've won them. You've won the Weakest Link.
Weakest Link, yeah. I was in the final twice, but won it, beating Biggins in the final. Christmas pantomime. Can't quite believe it because I was the weakest link in every round, getting to the final of the Weakest Link. But everybody said, we can't vote Basil off. He's lovely. We like Basil. So that was my tactic, They thought I was daft as a brush, but I was cunning as a fox. And I got into the final, and I know that Biggins is actually quite clever. And he got his questions first, and he didn't get any right. And I had one question, and I guessed the answer, and I said, Vogue! And it was the right answer. And when you watch the episode, you'll see that I won by just getting one question right in the final. And Biggins was mortified. And then I did Panto with him at the end of that year, and I just kept saying, loser. So I'm very proud of that. A lot more fun is the chase. The chase is a lot of fun to do that. It's a little bit easier for me. It's multiple choice. I'm much better at multiple choice. Once you get to my age, recall gets to be so much more difficult. I just can't remember things quite as much as I used to, and but I like the fact that it's multiple choice, and I've got to the final twice. I beat Jenny Ryan in the first one, and then with all the other celebrities that I was on with, don't ask me their names, I can't recall all of them. I managed to. I'm the only celebrity to have won the chase twice. Wow. I thank you. So that ain't bad. And then got invited down to Australia to do talking about my generation. Won it as well. Not that I'm competitive at all. Am I competitive? Yes, I flipping well am. But I'd love to go on something like The Wheel. That would be good. What's the one when all the bits fall down the tipping point? Tipping point. I think I'd be good on that. And Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Me! I would love to be on that.
If you could host one, what one would you want to host?
Or if I could be the host of any of those game shows. I think Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I like that. Or The Deal. Oh, they're all so good, aren't they? With Stephen Mulhern, The Deal is very good as well. I think Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I like that one. Because I know, because what it was, makes you look really quick, really clever. And I'd like to come to me and say, instead of asking the studio audience, ask me. And I'll have it written down in front of me, so I've got the answer.
So I'm going to do a bit of quick fire now.
Are we? Quick fire?
Yeah.
What
Okay.
questions?
Which one do you prefer, basically?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What?
The chase or pointless?
Chase.
QI or the last leg?
Last leg.
Pantomime or television?
Pantomime.
Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
North or south?
Midlands.
Tea
I don't want to upset anybody.
Tea or coffee?
Tea. And then I dunk my ginger nuts.
Angel Delight butterscotch or Angel Delight strawberry?
Butterscotch. Similar colour to me.
Most underrated comedian?
Me.
Most overrated invention?
Invention?
Yeah.
Overrated invention?
Yeah.
Internet.
Favourite decade?
80s.
Okay. This is called the Ask Bigger podcast. So I've got an Ask Bigger question now.
Oh, it's going to be a big question.
It's going to be a big question.
Big
This
question.
is what we've been building to this.
Oh, my word.
We've been building this.
Oh, my word. It's like the chase. This is it. The final question to win. To win a big question.
So you've had an incredible career.
Yes.
You've entertained grandparents,
Yes.
parents, and now children.
Yes.
Most entertainers are lucky to get 5 years. You've managed 60.
60.
If-
I never arrested.
If you
Just
had
got
a,
to keep adding that.
if we had a giant billboard
Yeah.
that every child, parent, grandparent in Britain would see in the morning,
In the morning.
what would the message be on that billboard?
It's a big question, isn't it?
Big question.
I tell you what, I'd say, get out there, enjoy yourselves. Boom, boom. Underneath it. Underlined in capitals. That's what they'd see.
Let's get that billboard made.
Let's get it made.
Let's get it made.
Let's get it made. I love that. What a lovely question. I thought you were going to ask me about how's the universe going to end.
How will the universe end?
I don't know. Ask Dr. Brian Cox. He knows. Fox and Cox. That's what you want to do. That's the next podcast. Fox on Cox. That's a different, completely podcast.
Yeah. I might get the viewers in. Right. I'm a bit of a magician.
Are you?
Yeah. Famous. Someone compared me to Tommy Cooper once.
Did he?
They said he'd be rolling in his grave after seeing me do my performance.
Okay. Yeah.
But I've been learning some magic.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been watching YouTube. Can I try and make you disappear?
Go on, then.
Not in like
And look, what, like life?
like
Like in life? Am I going to be kidnapped again, like in Inside Number 9?
no.
You're going to... Basil Brush disappeared. Sorry, I'm back again. Yeah, go on then.
You worked with David Nixon, didn't you?
Oh, that was in the very beginning, 1963.
He was a magician, right?
Yeah, it was magic. Magic.
Yeah. So I've watched a couple of videos. So let me get my magic sheet, okay? If you can just keep yourself busy.
Your magic sheet.
Yeah.
Is it going to be sheet magic? Is your magic going to be sheet? Sheet magic. What's that? It's getting a magic sheet. Oh. It's so tense, nearly 11th. Right, what are you going to do?
I'm going to make you disappear.
Go on then.
Okay.
I'm all ears. Here we go. Do you say magic words as well?
I should do really, shouldn't I?
I think you should. Say some magic words.
Okay.
Abracadabra, something like that.
Is that your chosen magic word?
Yeah, abracadabra.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Abracadabra. I've actually done it. I've done it. Basil Brush has disappeared.
Yeah, right. Good try. That's very good, that.
Yeah, you like that?
I do like that, yeah. I think if we'd done that in a live show, you'd have had spontaneous applause.
Yeah, maybe.
Very impressive.
Maybe.
Very impressive. Yeah, you'd have had to have locked the doors, otherwise they'd gone, walked off. That's very good.
Right.
You need to watch more YouTube, don't you? God,
Yeah.
you don't sleep, do you?
Do you know what? I've got big hands, so I always struggle with like playing cards and the close-up magic.
Yeah, I've only got little paws.
Well, I was going to ask you actually, just to wrap up the show.
Wrap it.
Just to wrap up the show.
Bit of wrap
We're
it.
coming to the end.
Coming to the end.
Obviously, the show's brought to us today by Angel Delight, and you've got a bit of history of Angel Delight, haven't you?
Oh, the advert.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I got to do an advert for them. Gosh, that was in the 70s. I think it was mainly a voiceover, and then there was suddenly a picture of me at the end saying, tuck into Angel Delight. Something like that. It was quite ridiculous, really. But the thing is, these things keep appearing on YouTube, and I've forgotten about them years ago. And, I did an Angel Delight advert. I must have needed a new extension or something at home, I don't know.
And you favourite flavour of Angel Delight?
Well, what was that orange one you mentioned earlier on?
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch. Yeah, I like a butterscotch. And it used to stick, didn't it? You used to Angel Delight if it was too sticky. Furball.
And if you had to invent your own flavour of Angel Delight, what would it be?
Orange. Tangy. I'm Basil Brush. I'm available for all adverts to do with Angel Delight and Pepto-Bismol.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Basil.
Cheers, dude. Thank you very
You've been
much.
amazing.
Yeah.
Go check out Basil.
Right, shall I go down my escalator?
Go then.
Are you ready for this? Crikey, there's a bloke down here.